you were telling me about your story, and you went off the rails.
Yep.
And then you found Stack and Tilt.
Yep. Well, I found the golfing machine. I found Mac,
machine.
and out of that, I distilled both of my friend Mike and I distilled both of those books into a system that we call Stack and Tilt.
And then what happened to your golf career after you found Stack and Tilt?
I got better. Well, I hadn't really hatched the name.
It would be hilarious if you're like, dude, it kept getting worse.
Yeah. We hadn't hatched the name Stack and Tilt at that point. Like I said, our intention was to just use what we were learning to play good. And
why not Stack and Smack?
We were trying to get the three-dimensional tilting in the word, right? So but I would say that my game got quite a bit better, and I became a much better player.
Back to scratch, below
scratch. I played played professional golf, and in the process of doing that, travel with Mac to watch him teach. Mac would teach VJ and Sevi and Grant Wade and Chip Beck and Jody Mudd and all these great players who I would go watch him teach, and I was so privileged to have that experience, and it really helped me in my own game. But as I got older, my game didn't quite go from mini tour player to tour superstar, and that was very frustrating, because I lived the dream. I was trying to live the dream, and I was not quite getting there. I was accumulating a lot of knowledge, but still not able to put into practice, which made me think there's something else. There's something more that I did not understand, which led me into the necessity of teaching, which I never wanted to do. And once I began to teach, I realized, I took my first lesson. A lady called me on the phone. She said, "I'd like for you to help my daughter." I'd never taught. Now I've played golf for 15 years. I've studied swing theory, watched Mac teach the best players. I go to teach a beginner. She swings and misses the first ball. And I'm terrified. I've got my camera out. I'm going to teach her how to play. I'm terrified because I don't know what to tell her. I don't know where to start. Right?
You got to try hitting that thing.
Right. I didn't know what to tell her.
Right.
So I got all of this knowledge, so these random fragments of knowledge, and how to take that and give it to a beginner and build them up is what we really developed, I'd say.
Have you had guys who have been on tour, successful guys who have maybe along the way they've lost something and they got the yips or what have you? Have you had a player like that come to you and say, "Tell me more about what you're doing," and try to find results from your method?
Yeah, I would say that's most of the players I get are like that.
Even a high level.
We're
guys?
the teachers of last resort. Stack and Tilt is no one comes to Stack and Tilt first. Everyone comes to Stack and Tilt last.
Yeah, right.
So I don't get the students that Butch Harmon teaches or whoever. The way they're marketed and presented is they're not going to change much and they're going to work with what you have. And I respect that. I'm presented as a guy, when nothing else works, go see these guys. So on the tour, the people that I get are the people who are at the end of the rope, usually, or the people that have tried a lot of other system or a lot of other theories or coaches. I can't think of any that I've been the first choice of.
Right. And why is that? Because then you have to understand that I really don't have a ton of knowledge,
right.
So this might be a stupid question. But if these guys are, if what you're saying is true, and a lot of these guys, even if they're not admitting or calling themselves Stack and Tilt, are still showing these
characteristics.
Yeah, right. You would think that they would know that in their head. Hey, I know that this guy gets a lot of bad credit, or he gets a bad rap for his method, but I kind of do it. What's the big deal about them coming to you? Because at the high level, people just care about results. They don't care about reputation.
I don't know if they do that. I don't know if that's true or not. Because I've seen a lot of players walk away from results and change coaches for a lot of reasons. So I think they think that they can keep the same results and change. And that doesn't always happen either. But to your question, why am I the guy of last resort? I would say because I laid out a very specific template with specific answers, and some of the answers they hear startle them. some of the information might be scary or startling.
What's the scariest thing that you tell people?
Well, the tilt to the left on the backswing. You tilt in the opposite direction that you turn, and I would say that's universal. If I said that you turn to the right on your backswing, but you tilt to the left, I think a lot of people, that startles people. And when you turn on your downswing, if you turn to the left, you tilt to the right. So you're always tilting in the opposite direction that you turn.
Right.
And I think that kind of an answer startles players who are just looking for, hey, I'm already pretty good. Just tell me to open my club face a little bit. I think a lot of them see me as a guy who's going to rebuild their stroke completely. And that's not really how I work, but I think that's how I'm perceived.